What's up, everybody? This is your boy Uber Hikari, aka the Nerd Nigga, here to bring you another video with no frills, just the analysis. Alright, so today I'm going to be doing a blog, not a blog, a vlog. Blog, no, a vlog. And I'm going to be discussing three topics: anime, YouTube, and school. So, when the annotations pop up, just, click on whichever one you want to go to first or second or third or whatever whatever your fancy is. And I know I haven't done a vlog in a long time. In fact, this is the second vlog that I've ever done. And the first vlog I think was sometime in my first week or as a regular YouTube uploader. So just thought I'd decide to do one of these type of videos again, especially since the Q&A video went over so well, and a lot of you people seem to enjoy enjoy me talking about myself. So so here you go, the second vlog. So before I get into this vlog, let me just say, subscribe to the Cloud Village. First and foremost, subscribe to the Cloud Village collab channel. We're doing big things over at the Cloud Village. Also, something that I haven't been able to discuss, well, that I haven't mentioned, is that I've been boxed by Sawyer 7 Mage, which is awesome. To be boxed by someone who's so highly influential in the YouTube anime community. So thank you for that. I know I talked to him about this before, but now I get to tell all my subscribers and viewers about this. And so yeah. So, like I said, well, actually, no, it's not going to be 3 parts. It's going to be 4 parts. I forgot. Because I did a Q&A like a couple of weeks ago, and there was one question that someone asked me that I was not able to answer. And I believe the person's name was Tari. I think it's a woman, but I could be wrong. But Tari asked me a question, so I'm going to answer that first. And then I'm probably going to go to the anime topic, how I got into anime and all sorts of other stuff within that. And then I'm going to talk about my YouTube experience, what it's been like as a a YouTuber, and what has been my experience as a YouTuber. And then I'm going to talk about school. So those are the 4 topics that I want to talk about in this vlog. So getting into the question that Tari asked me in my Q&A video, she asked, or he asked, what do you know about Tizvetin Todorov and the narrative theories? And if you don't know about them, can you please look them up and give your thoughts? Thanks. All right, so I did a little bit of research. Actually, I just went on Wikipedia to look at, Todorov's narrative theories. And I must say, I really don't know what to think about his theories, because I haven't had the time to pick up, an article he's written or to pick up a book he's written and just, read it. Obviously, I've been pretty busy, with school and everything, so I wasn't able to do that. But from what I gather from Wikipedia, it seems as if his narrative theories revolve around elements of the fantastic in literature. And I mean, I've had some sort of experience working with the fantastic. I know about magical realism, for example, and I know about Toni Morrison in particular, her magical realism with respect to books like Beloved and other books in which she uses magical realism, but especially Beloved. And I've also actually this semester I'm taking a class on Black surrealism, so I know a little bit about the elements of the fantastic. And from what I can tell, I pretty much I see where Todorov is going with this, but because I don't have the type of knowledge that I would like to have, I can only approach this from my particular perspective. And from what I can see, his notions of things like the fantastic, marvelous, the fantastic, uncanny, it seems to make a lot of sense, and it seems to be useful in terms of categorizing how we view the fantastic within literature. And just thinking off the top of my head, insofar as I've dealt with African American literature or Black diasporic literature in relation to the topic of the fantastic, it's very interesting to me, because African American writers and writers of the Black diaspora more generally tend to use the fantastic as a way to trouble genre boundaries, but they also tend to use the fantastic as a way to, trouble our understanding of identity and subjectivity. And it seems to me that Todorov could be, pretty useful, at least approaching, African diasporic and African American writers from that approach. So, those are just my, quick thoughts on, Todorov's, narrative theories and his theories about the fantastic uncanny and the fantastic marvelous. So, sorry I wasn't able to get this to you in the Q&A video, and sorry that, I don't, have enough knowledge to speak about this in a way that you would like, but, that's the best I can do as of right now. Oh, and, thanks for the question. All right, so now getting into the anime part of this vlog. So how did I get into anime? It's actually a pretty interesting story. It's, pretty wild ride. My my sort of, how I got into my ride towards getting into, anime and manga. I was actually introduced to anime on three separate occasions, but for the first two of those occasions, I didn't know what it was. So the first time I got introduced to anime and manga was through Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon. And at this time I was, very young. I think I was 6 years old. So I just thought it was a cartoon like any other cartoon on television. And I really, I like I said, I didn't really know what it was. And I never really, watched anime growing up. I mean, but between the ages of like 6 and 10, I don't think I ever really watched anything that resembled anime besides Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon. But I didn't know what it was. And this is also interesting because a lot of people tend to get into anime and manga and figure out what it is as a category of literature much earlier, or at least they tend to, their interest in that, in anime and manga is sustained since, they were like, 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or something like that. And, for me, for example, I missed out on that because, I've never even seen the original Dragon Ball anime. I've never seen all the episodes. So yeah, I missed out on a lot with respect to those years of, seeing those animes on TV, like, Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon. But the second time I got introduced to anime and manga, at this point I still had no idea what it was, but Dragon Ball Z when I was 10 years old. And in fact, I'm old enough, I'm about to be 23 on June 12th. I'm old enough to have, been around to see the original episodes of Dragon Ball Z when they first aired in America for the first time. So yeah, I guess that kind of ages me, puts my age in perspective with respect to the YouTube anime community. But yeah, and I would say that if there's any series that I have, nostalgia for, that sort of, blinds my judgment a little bit about the series, it has to be Dragon Ball Z. I mean, I cannot underestimate the impact that Dragon Ball Z had on me as a child growing up when I was, 9, 10, 11 years old. Oh man, me and my friends were, just DBZ tards, man. Couldn't get enough of Dragon Ball Z. In fact, I remember when Dragon Ball Z used to come on, I believe it was like 5:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30. And I remember because I used to have football practice. Yeah, Uber Hikaru used to play football, yes. 5'3", 110 pounds, and I used to play football, I know. But yeah, I remember I used to have football practice from like 6 to 8, and I would always, watch Dragon Ball Z right before I had to go to football practice. So yeah, man, I was a huge, DBZ tard. And when I wasn't able to watch it on TV, I used to, because it used to come on at like 12 o'clock at night. So I used to buy those blank videotapes, and I used to record it at night so that I wouldn't miss the episode. So yeah, man, love Dragon Ball Z. I mean, who doesn't love Dragon Ball Z, man? I mean, if you grew up with that stuff, it had a major impact on your childhood because there was nothing like I had never seen anything like Dragon Ball Z ever. I mean, comic books are, the closest you could get to it, but even I mean, they're just, manga and comic books. People who, read, comic books or, watch the comic book, related cartoons on TV. You know what I'm talking about. they're just not the same. And I had never, seen anything like, Dragon Ball Z, where, the characters could destroy planets, and, it turned into this intergalactic battle royale. I had never seen anything like it. So it was a very, very special part of my childhood. At least for me, it was a very special part of my childhood. And I'm sure for, a lot of you people out there as well. And when I got older, you know as of, I think, and even then, like, I watched Dragon Ball Z, but I'm not sure that I watched any other anime between the ages of like 10 and, I want to say, like 13. So like I got introduced to anime at when I was 6, but didn't watch any more until I was 10. That's when DBZ came out. And as far as I can remember, I don't think I watched any other anime between the ages of 10 and 13 besides DBZ. And this was the very, very early stages of, an American audience being exposed to, Japanese anime and manga. So I'm not even sure if there were any other shows around during that time, or if there were, what they were, because, like I said, I just, totally skipped out on them. But yeah, I grew up as a Toonami kid, definitely a Toonami kid. Also, very wonderful memories of Toonami. If I remember correctly, Toonami used to come on around, I want to say, like 4:35, 5:30, 6 o'clock, um every day, like every weekday. And I remember because I was in the 8th grade, and I always used to watch Rurouni Kenshin, but I never watched Yu Yu Hakusho. I don't know, it was just something about Yu Yu Hakusho that I just, I couldn't get into it. It just looked silly. So every day when Rurouni Kenshin went off, I would, switch to another channel and just say, forget about Yu Yu Hakusho. But I remember one day, I decided, let me see what Yu Yu Hakusho is about, and I saw it, and it was in the Dark Tournament Saga, and, man, wow. So that's how I initially got into Rurouni Kenshin and Yu Yu Hakusho. Uh, and if I remember correctly, there also used to be something else that came on Toonami. There was 3 shows. There was Rurouni Kenshin, then it was Yu Yu Hakusho, and something else used to come on. And I'm not before if it came on like after Yu Yu Hakusho or before Rurouni Kenshin. But there was another anime that used to air on Toonami, in the sort of early evenings on the weekdays, and I can't remember what that series was. But that's how I got introduced to Rurouni Kenshin and Yu Yu Hakusho. But again, still had no idea what it was. And I was also watching Adult Swim during this time as well. So I was watching things like Trigun, like Ghost in the Shell, Full Metal Alchemist, Cowboy Bebop, Keider. I mean, who? I was in a Cloud Village discussion one time, and I mentioned Keider, and they were like, Keider? What the hell's Keider? Like, how could you not know about Keider? Android Keider, with the guitar? Who doesn't remember Android Keider? Please tell me that someone out there remembers Android Keider. Also, Inuyasha, Big O. So those are the sorts of series that I was watching, 13, 14, 15, 16, during, Adult Swim. And as I got older, I always wondered, like, why were the openings and like the endings in Japanese, and why was some of the credits in Japanese? I never understood that. I mean, and looking back, I can see how I just dismissed it, because they were cool shows and I really, really liked them, and I just never questioned the fact that they were American cartoons, even though they were like subtle hints that they were Japanese, but I just never paid attention to them, and I never really felt any need to delve any deeper than that. But when I got into high school, Naruto. This was when Naruto first started coming on, and I was not interested in Naruto at all. Not at all. I mean, it just looks so cheesy. I mean, a kid who's playing a ninja, but who's wearing an orange jumpsuit and blue sandals. Really? Come on now, really? Nah, I'm not getting into that. No, it just seemed too stupid. But when I graduated from high school, this was between um, when I got graduated from high school in the summer, right before I went to my first semester of college. There was a Naruto marathon on. that summer. And I know a lot of you will probably remember this. They aired the first 100 episodes of Naruto. And I was like, let me check this out. So I started watching and I was like, damn, this actually looks good, man. This looks really interesting. And after that marathon was over, I went on Wikipedia and I looked for Naruto, and then it said this is an anime and manga. I was like, anime and manga, what's that? So then I clicked on that, and that's when I realized that this was actually Japanese, that it was anime and manga and not an American cartoon. And I was just like blown away by having stumbled upon an entire new world of basically literature and animation that I had, never dreamed of before. And that summer, I actually watched every available episode of Bleach, Naruto, and Rurouni Kenshin. And this is, when was this? This was like 2007. So it was still like the early days of YouTube where you could still watch like entire episodes. So yeah, that's where I watched all of Naruto. I'm probably the only idiot who didn't know what a filler was and watched all 85 of those Naruto fillers, no matter how bad they were. I was so addicted that I watched every single filler of Naruto. So yeah, but yeah, I was, I was, real big into Naruto, real big into Naruto. And as it stands now, I've watched or read over, 60 series. I know that probably doesn't seem like a lot to a lot of you guys out there, but I just started in this, and plus, I'm in school and I have other interests, so I haven't really been able to watch and read as much as I'd like to. But so yeah, I've watched about, sorry about the camera. Yeah, so I've watched about 60 plus series, mainly shonen, although now I'm starting to branch out into seinen as well. And basically how I did this was I went and I searched for, I did a massive amount of searches on like Google and Yahoo for like, best shonen series, best fantasy shonen series, best science fiction shonen series, best, science fiction manga, anime, stuff like that. And I just compiled, to read and to watch list. So I've, searched out basically all the classics. And some of my favorites are Space Runaway Idion. That's my favorite anime. 666 Satan. That's my favorite manga. Code Geass. Really like Code Geass. Gundam, but the UC timeline. And this is how you can tell it's a real generational divide. Because I know people who have watched Gundam, but they've never watched the UC timeline. And I'm like, how could you not have watched the Universal Century timeline? Come on, man. The original Mobile Suit Gundam, Zeta Gundam, Double Zeta Gundam, Victory Gundam. Man, I love, all the UC timeline. War in the Pocket, Char's counterattack, man. You guys need to step your Gundam game up, man. Step your Gundam game up. Some other favorites include Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, not the movie, but the manga, the manga. Samurai Champloo, of course, Darker Than Black, but it's kind of weird with me because not the first season, but the second season of Darker Than Black, the one where Hayes kind of going kind of downhill. And the twins of the meteor, that one. Yeah, I love the second season of Darker Than Black. Like it, I like the first season too, but I like the second season more. Definitely like the second season more. Moribito, some old school classics. Probably nobody's heard of this one, Geno Cyber. That's my, yeah, man. I love the anime Geno Cyber too. Planetes, and also Kino no Tabi. So those are just some of my favorites. As for my preferences, the only preference that I really have is that I favor, action adventure series within the show, within shonen, more than like slice of life or romance or any of that other stuff. And I really don't discriminate. I watch mechas, science fiction, fantasy, old, new. I really just like diversity. So that's the long story of how I got into anime and manga. So now on to the YouTube section of this vlog. If you haven't seen Super Kami Guru 9000's interview, where he interviews me, yours truly. You should definitely go watch that. And shout out and thank you to Super Kami Guru for giving me the opportunity to be interviewed. And like I told him, it's a very humbling experience, and I'm very honored to be interviewed. So if you haven't checked that out, check that interview out, and you'll be able to see how I got into to YouTube and how I started making YouTube videos. But the longer version of that is, I originally got on YouTube to make anime music videos, AMVs. Maybe some of you, if you're one of my original subscribers, you'll see that you might have seen that AMV, but I had to take it down because of the content ID thing, and I didn't want to get a copyright strike, so I took it down. And I originally made my account, I believe, in August of 2010. And, I made it in 2010, but I didn't make my first YouTube video as a part of the YouTube anime community until October 2nd of 2011, I believe. So, yeah. And I really had to stop making AMVs because I just, once I made my AMV, I looked at it and was like, damn, this is harder than I thought, and it doesn't look like I'm going to be any good at this because I just don't have the patience to make the sort of AMVs that other people were making. So I only made one AMV. So yeah. And I was always active on YouTube. Like I said, I was using YouTube to watch anime and manga, Bleach, Naruto, and Rurouni Kenshin. But I was also how I found out about the YouTube anime community was, I thought to myself, I wonder if anybody's made videos about Naruto or have done reviews on Naruto. And, I found Otaku Assemble. That's how I found Otaku Assemble. That's how I found For Neverworld. And that's how I found X71 Isn't War. And I've been on here for a long time. In fact, I've been on here so long that I remember when For Neverworld was still getting 300 and 400 views on his chapter reviews. That's how long I've been laying in the cut. So I've actually been following the YouTube anime community for a while now, and I have been, watching people for a while, and I found Uber Black Man, and I would, comment on his videos, and then he did a video on the shitty ass anime community about 5, 6 months back now, and I did a video response to that, and I'm very thankful that it was quite successful, and that's how Uber Hikari got got onto YouTube. So why did I get into YouTube, or why did I start uploading videos to YouTube? I wanted to fulfill a specific niche. And of course, we have very good reviewers in the YouTube anime community. You have Game Manic, Insane Game Freak, Larry from Otaku Assemble, J Man, Esper Review. We have very good reviewers. But I bring a different type of analysis. And for those of you who are subscribed to me and know what I mean, you know that on Uber Hikari's channel, you get a type of analysis that you don't find anywhere else. And I've as probably know, I've studied literature. I know I've mentioned that before in another video, but I studied literature, and I figured that because I actually studied this in an academic sense, that I could probably bring something new to the experience of YouTube. And like I said when I first started, I like to think of myself as the New York Times review of anime and manga on YouTube. So that was the specific niche that I fulfilled, and I think I've been pretty successful at that. With my slogans on character complexity, like ethical complexity, psychological complexity. Yes, Uber Hikari started that. So when you see other people use that phrase, just know that they got it from Uber Hikari, and that's great. That's great because that's the type of influence, the type of analytical influence that I wanted to have on the YouTube anime community. I think I've been pretty successful with that so far. And another big reason that I wanted to come onto YouTube and start uploading videos is because of something Otaku Assemble said, a while back, where he said you have to make the type of videos you want to see. And I figured, shit, man, I took that as a challenge, and I said, well, I can do that. So I started, making the type of videos that I wanted to see. And I also do political, topics as well. For those of you who may not know, who have recently subscribed to me and haven't seen them, I do a fuck you, thank you series, which I'm probably, due up for another video. I think I'm probably, I don't remember exactly what I'm doing it on. I know Syria is going to be the fuck you part. Definitely the sort of civil war and crisis that's going on in Syria. But basically with my fuck you, thank you series, I focus on, human rights abuses around the globe in this, sort of contemporary, so within the last 10 years. And the fuck you part is to say fuck you to, a group of people or even an individual person who engages in sort of, oppression and human rights abuses. And then the thank you aspect is, to thank somebody or a group of people who are, actively engaged in, human rights activism around the world. So that's the political topics that I do. So how do I actually make my videos? How do I make these hour-long videos? So first, let me say this, and a lot of people might be surprised by this, but I generally don't retake my videos. I don't edit them, I don't cut them, I don't do anything. When I do a video, I generally one take it. So the way I record it is the way you see it when it gets uploaded. Sometimes I have a couple false starts, but once I get going, that's it. Just one take it all the way. And notes. That's another thing. A lot of people are under the impression that I can speak for an hour and sound very good with no notes. No. You might not be able to tell. I mean, if you're paying attention to me, you might see my eyes go over this way because that's where my notes are. But notes, notes, notes. Gotta have notes. Can't talk without them. And I have anywhere from, a video would usually include anywhere from 2 to 9 pages of notes. On my really long hour videos, I generally have 9 pages of notes. I mean, that's how many notes I take. So I generally start off with an idea or a topic that I think would, be a little bit controversial, get people a little bit excited to watch it. And then I write down my ideas and then I just let it flow organically. So as long as I have like the seed of an idea, generally it will become, a plant or a tree, to carry out the metaphor. And one thing I noticed about myself is I have to be random. I'm sorry. I just have to be random. I tried to when I first started out, I thought I could work on a schedule, and I just cannot work with a set schedule. And people who are subscribed to me can attest to this. I'll do something like upload 3 videos in a day, and then you won't hear from me for like 7 to 10 days, and then I'll come out and upload 3 more videos on another day. So, that's the type of, uploader I am. I just can't do a set schedule unless it's an episode review like The Walking Dead, because I know those are time sensitive, so I have to get those out. My plans for YouTube, I've got some new segments coming up, but I don't know when I'll be able to get to them. I have, a segment about, uh, greatest, anime villains and heroes, but also a segment on underappreciated anime and manga that I really want to get into. But, I'm absolutely backlogged, man. I have, so many video ideas and video topics that I'm just, backed up, and I just don't know when I'm going to be able to get to those. So, you'll see those new segments whenever they happen to come out. And advice for new YouTubers. What you need is patience. You really, really need patience because uploading videos, when you watch these videos, you may think it's not that hard, but it's really hard work. And I know it's hard work for me. I don't know about anybody else, but I know for myself, the process of, having to write notes, and that's really why I can't work on the schedules, because I put so much into thinking about videos and writing down notes that it takes me a while to get my ideas in order so that I can record a video. And like Larry said, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So you really have to be in this for the long haul. Also, something else that I noticed about YouTube, there's really 2 reasons why people watch your YouTube video. They're either watching you because your content or because of your personality, or both. So you need to have one of those things. If you don't have good content, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but if you don't have good content, if you're a charismatic person and you have a good personality, then people will watch you. And if you're not that charismatic, and but you have really good content, people will tend to watch you. So, and also have some idea of a plan. You don't have to have, everything set in stone, engraved, on a tablet, but you should have some idea of a plan of action that you want to execute and that you want to build your channel around. Also, I'm also a part of, the Cloud Village. Again, subscribe to the Cloud Village. That's my, anime. Well, not my anime and manga collab channel, but it's an anime and manga collab channel that I'm in with about, 15, 16 other people. Yeah, I know it's a lot of us. So on one collab channel. And yeah, so I think, that's been really successful as well. We've, really tried to start a movement. And we really try to be a brotherhood, and we've made some mistakes, and I know some people were part of the Cloud Village and no longer are, like Uncle Mean and Otaku Assemble. But personally, I would just say, I'm, sad that it didn't work out, and I really, wanted it to work out. But, sometimes we weren't gelling, and sometimes, people make mistakes. But, I think it's all good. Uncle Mean and Otaku Simbo are people that, I still respect. So, shout out and thank you, to them for contributing what they did contribute to the Cloud Village. And we sort of, me, Uber Black Man, GT the King, Margarita Z, Nerdy Mo, Darius 19R, King Fo Jason, J Man. Oh man, it's a lot of us. Insane Game Freak. We really started this whole, channel because, we wanted to raise the bar. We wanted to, raise the standard of excellence, and we wanted to have fun and entertain you guys. So, and we wanted to force, other people to bring, bring their A game, bring their quality content. So that's one of the biggest reasons why we started the Cloud Village. And we wanted to bring some diversity, bring something else besides just the big three. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that the big three is bad, because like the Jurashay said in one of his videos, the big three did a lot for the YouTube anime community. Chapter reviews did a lot for the YouTube anime community. But there comes a point in time in every movement, or every community, where we have to break away from our origins, explore new things, become more diverse, get dabble in a variety of different types of anime and manga and content. So I'm not saying fuck the big three, but I am saying that we should branch out a little bit. So that's pretty much my YouTube experience. uh Now for school. um, as for school, I know a lot of you have been asking me what do I study, and I think I've pretty much answered that question in my Q&A video, and also in my interview with Super Kami Guru. And I really don't feel like explaining it again, but just know, if you watch the interview with Super Kami Guru, it'll come up in that interview. And I study a lot of different things, so really don't feel like getting into it right now because it's a lot. And it'll probably sound like I'm rambling and, whatever. But I will be graduating in May. Very, very good news, man. It was touch and go for a second. Touch and go. Because I actually designed my own major, and I had to get it approved by an academic dean. And I wasn't sure if, they would approve it. So they did approve it. So I'm all set to go. And it looks like, I have all my credits that I need to graduate. I have my minor finished. I have my major finished. And as long as I pass all of my classes this semester, which I'll do that with, with my eyes closed, hands tied behind my back. As long as I pass all of my classes, I will graduate with a BA from Rutgers University in May 2012. So, clap it up for me. Clap it up for me. Shit. If no one's gonna clap it up for me, I'll clap it up for myself. Because anybody who's in college knows that it's hard work. It's very hard work, and especially if you take college seriously. I know some people are just knuckleheads, and they just do a bunch of bullshit just to get by with that D or C. But for people who actually put in effort, it's really hard work to be excellent, in the academic sense. And it didn't take me 4 years. I needed an extra year. But you know, I'm very very proud of myself. And when I graduate and I get that degree, you better believe I'm making a video and I'm putting the degree right up there in front of the camera, so everybody can see that. Also, I know a lot of you are going to be interested in this. If you want to send me congratulation presents, just hit me up on YouTube, and um, I accept checks, or you can deposit the money into my account if you like as a congratulation present. I'm open to all sorts of options. So so if you want to give me a congratulation present, I'm definitely open to that. And plans after school. I had originally planned to go directly to graduate school to get my PhD in literature, but I'm taking time off. I need to take some time off. I really do need this as a sort of, psychological break to prepare myself for graduate school. So I will be going to graduate school. I will get a PhD in literature, and I will become a professor of literature. So that's definitely my goal over the next, probably 7 or 8 years. So that's what I plan to do. In the meantime, while I'm taking this time off, I'll probably, do some. No, I'll definitely do some reading. Got a lot of fantasy and science fiction literature that I want to catch up on. Got a lot of academic, reading that I want to catch up on. Also need to get a job, and I've been thinking about getting my substitute teacher certificate. Don't know if how that'll pan out, but I'll definitely be looking into that, or maybe getting an internship. So I'll just have to see how things go, but I definitely need a job in this space between college and graduate school. So again, subscribe to the Cloud Village. Check out my interview with Super Comic Guru 9000. This has been your boy Uber Hikari, aka the Nerd Nigga. Just brought you another video with no frills, just the analysis. Peace and have a blessed day.